right. Oh no, it's just my power steering, luckily. Haha. So, I posted, beginning of this video is just me doing the quick drive. So, I had to move this car and a bunch of other cars. And I'm like, yeah, it hasn't been started. So, we'll start it up, we'll run it, we'll drive it. My alignment's kind of boogered, but these tires are shot, so whatever. I just want to move it up and down the road. So I drove it up and down the road. It did good. So I took it like out of my development and up and down the road out there down the road. So there's down the road here, which is like I can push it home. And then there's down the road here, which is this big hill. And then you're screwed. So it was doing good. I rolled in and out of boost. It did great. It actually cracked the wastegates open at about 12 pounds there. And at 12 pounds, I bumped some things out that were just plugged poorly. Again, going over the car. So I redid that stuff. And then I turned around. I was like, I better get home. It's going too well. 3/4 of the way home, I lost power steering fluid like crazy. Like it just dumped. I'm like, okay. So something just came off. It's not like a slow leak or whatever. So... well, after I sprayed down and wiped everything, it's still kind of a mess. But wiped off all this garbage. You know, I gotta basically spray degreaser in the whole engine bay and hose it. And I found this. I made a PTFE line, but I must have not gotten it seated all the way, or it must just not be enough. Because it blew out. It pinholed the... I didn't put this on to fix this, but I thought it would look nice. And then I didn't do it down here by the rack, and it blew it out right at the edge of the pump here. So this is right where it comes out of the pump. So this is like the weakest part, and it popped it right out. So I'm going to have one made, and then I should have power steering again, no problem. But, you know, at least the rods are in. Okay, more updating. I have to clean up the engine bay a little bit more. I've been spraying degreaser and doing what I can. The other thing that I wanted to do was, I forgot to get a picture of this, but I have older ones, a video and whatnot. I had a straight fitting on the end of the rail, and then I had this guy, and it stuck out really far past here, and I made it extra long so I could hoop the hose up. So the hose was like up in the air, and this was really encroaching on the space for the trans dipstick and a lot of other things. So I have plenty of 8 fittings, and I have some straights. So what I wanted to do was, here's what I bought. One of those Orb to 90s. So it's on there already. So that's much more low profile. And you can see the dipstick doesn't need to be bent out of the way to get to anything. And then I'm in the process of putting this straight PTFE fitting on, and it's going to go straight on, and it's cut lower, and etc., etc. The other thing is I was running returnless for fun, and I can't do that. I wanted to test it out, and I can already see like just a little bit I rolled into it. It's losing fuel pressure pretty bad because the regulator's in the trunk, and once the regulator cracks, it must be easier to return right there than it is to push anything up into these dead ends. So after this guy goes on, I have a whole conglomerate here. Look at this Steadicam footage on my hand. We are going to try to make something into a regulator up front. And I think I'm just going to mount the regulator here or so, you know, because my fuel comes up there. So I wanted to go back down there. So yeah, I got this guy, and then I got this guy. So I'm going to make them into these guys, and then regulator, and then returny, you know. Doing that stuff. Oh, I had the hydraulic place down the street make me a line. Ta-da!